Most people work for money. The rich, they make money work for them. While the average person sees cash as a paycheck to spend, the wealthy see it as a tool, an engine for creating more wealth. They think in terms of assets, leverage, and opportunities, not just hours and wages. This mindset shift isn't magic, it's strategy. And once you understand how they see the game, you can start playing it too. Today we will talk about how the rich think about money, and you know. So before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Money is capital, not just income. For the average person, a paycheck represents a reward for labor, hours given in exchange for a fixed amount of money. The rich, however, see money as capital, a resource that must be placed in the right environment to grow. This is why they focus on acquiring assets that generate income rather than liabilities that drain it. An everyday example is the difference between buying a luxury car with a loan versus buying a rental property. While the first appreciates in value from the moment it is purchased, the second can generate rental income and appreciate in value over time. Wealthy individuals understand that every dollar has the potential to become many more if it is invested wisely. Instead of letting money sit in a bank account earning a small fraction of a percent in interest, they put it to work in stocks, real estate, private businesses, or other ventures that offer far greater returns. This is the mindset shift that turns money from something that is spent into something that produces. The power of leverage. One of the most powerful tools the rich use is leverage. Not just financial leverage, but also time and skill leverage. In financial terms, leverage means using borrowed capital to acquire assets that will yield higher returns than the cost of borrowing. A common example is a real estate investor taking a loan to purchase an apartment building, where rental income more than covers the mortgage, maintenance, and other expenses, leaving the investor with profit and a growing asset. But leverage extends beyond money. The wealthy hire experts, build teams, and delegate tasks, so that their time is spent only on activities that create the most value. For example, a business owner might pay an accountant, a marketing team, and a property manager to handle the day-to-day work while they focus on strategy and expansion. This ability to multiply their efforts without multiplying their personal workload allows their wealth to grow faster and more sustainably. Embracing calculated risk. Where the average person sees risk as something to be avoided, the wealthy see it as an unavoidable step on the path to success. They understand that calculated risk, informed, researched, and planned, is often the price of significant financial growth. Jeff Bezos once explained that Amazon's success came from a willingness to make bold bets, even if some failed. The difference lies in preparation. Wealthy individuals rarely gamble blindly. Instead, they study opportunities, consult experts, and diversify their investments to spread potential losses. If one investment fails, the others can balance it out. This perspective turns risk into a manageable factor rather than an overwhelming threat. They know that complete safety in finance often means low returns, and low returns rarely lead to wealth. Delayed gratification and lifestyle control. One of the most striking differences between how the rich and the average person approach money is how they manage lifestyle upgrades. Many people, upon receiving a raise, bonus, or windfall, immediately think of bigger homes, new cars, or luxury vacations. The wealthy often resist this urge until their financial foundation is strong enough. They practice delayed gratification, a conscious decision to reinvest surplus income into income-generating assets before spending on luxuries. A classic example is Warren Buffett, who lived in the same modest house for decades despite his growing fortune, choosing to reinvest his earnings rather than inflate his lifestyle. This discipline allows their investments to compound, eventually generating enough passive income to pay for luxuries without reducing their capital. This is how a rich person might buy a yacht, not from their salary, but from the returns on investments they made years earlier. Thinking generationally. Another major difference in mindset is the timeline of financial planning. The average person often thinks in terms of months or years, aiming for comfort in the present and perhaps a retirement fund. The rich think in decades, sometimes even centuries. Their financial strategies are built not just for their own lives, but for future generations. This is why wealthy families often create trusts, establish family businesses, and invest in assets that will outlive them. They understand that wealth is easier to preserve and grow when passed down with the right structures in place. A modern example is the Rockefeller family, whose fortune, built in the late 1800s, continues to support multiple generations because it was carefully managed through trusts, diversified investments, and strict financial education for heirs. Thinking generationally changes how decisions are made in the present because the focus shifts from quick profits to lasting stability. The role of financial education. One of the most consistent habits among the wealthy is their dedication to financial education. They treat it as an ongoing responsibility rather than a one-time lesson. While most people learn about money through trial and error, often costly errors, the rich actively study finance, taxes, investments, and markets. They seek out mentors, attend seminars, read books, and surround themselves with financially literate peers. Mark Cuban, billionaire entrepreneur, has often said that reading constantly has given him an edge in business. This commitment to learning means they can adapt quickly to economic changes, identify opportunities earlier, and avoid pitfalls that others might overlook. Financial education is not just about knowing where to put your money. It's about understanding how systems work, how markets react, and how to legally and strategically protect wealth. Mastering tax efficiency. Taxes may seem like an unavoidable expense, but the wealthy see them as something that can be managed. They work with accountants and tax advisors to structure their earnings and investments in ways that reduce taxable income legally. This might include investing in tax-advantaged accounts, holding assets through corporations or partnerships, and taking advantage of deductions and credits. For example, real estate investors in many countries can use depreciation to reduce their taxable income, even while their properties increase in value. The average person often pays more in taxes proportionally because they earn income primarily through wages, which are taxed heavily, while the wealthy earn a significant portion through capital gains, dividends, and other sources that may be taxed at lower rates. The abundance mindset. Perhaps the most subtle but powerful difference is in mindset. The wealthy believe money is abundant, and the opportunities to earn it are endless. The average person often operates from a scarcity mindset, fearing that money is hard to come by and must be guarded tightly. This scarcity thinking leads to overly cautious behavior, missed opportunities, and a focus on avoiding loss rather than pursuing gain. The abundance mindset, on the other hand, encourages the wealthy to take action, invest, and explore new ventures without being paralyzed by fear of failure. They see financial setbacks as temporary and fixable, not as permanent disasters. Elon Musk famously risked his last remaining capital on SpaceX and Tesla, when both were on the verge of failure, confident that even if he lost it all, he could rebuild. If you liked this video and would like to see more like it, please give it the thumbs up. Leave a comment and click the button to subscribe.